with Michael.
Hey, Pascal, it's Mike Anderer from Blue City Radio. Thanks for the time.
Hi, Michael.
Just wanted to ask you your opinion about players and their versatility. When you have a player like a Justin Haak who can play multiple positions, Hannes Wolf, what's your mindset as far as choosing where they're going to play, and how you can? Are you about people being versatile and using the best talent on the field, or saying no, this person has a dedicated position, and I think they should be focused on playing in that dedicated position?
Good question. I think it's a combination of both. I'm very fortunate as a coach to have players that can play on multiple positions. It helps the team with the qualities that they have. Understanding also what the qualities are is something that we focus on team-wise, because having Justin, for instance, in midfield or in the back four can help us in certain situations when he plays back four like the previous game. But he's also very aware of what the responsibilities are in midfield. So it gives us a lot of flexibility in the team, and that's what I like to see within my team.
Alex?
Good afternoon, Pascal. This is Alex Only from AM New York. How's it going?
Hi, Alex.
We spoke to Justin Haak earlier, and I wanted to ask, what qualities does he bring to the team, both tactically and in terms of his mentality, that make him such a valuable asset for different positions for this team in both midfield and defense? Thank you.
Yeah, Justin is a winner overall. He's very competitive. What he brings in midfield is a lot of composure. Defensive awareness is something that is more on his side. So we're trying to keep him, develop him also on the ball in decision making going forward. However, when he plays in the back four, he can bring those aspects with less pressure, because it's not so busy in that area when he plays in the back four. And then he brings the composure on the ball that we're looking for as well. So it's very interesting to see him in several positions. But his winning mentality is something that stands out by far.
Chris?
Hi, Pascal. Chris Cameron from the outfield. Just wondering update on Tavon Gray's injury. I know it was a couple games ago, but I'm assuming he's out on Saturday. But if you can just give an update on the severity and how long he may be out for. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, well, to be honest with you, we don't know exactly. He's having exams taken, so we're trying to find out what the actual problem is, which is very unfortunate for the team, of course, because Tavon is not available. Like you said just now, he's not available for Saturday, and I'm not quite sure how long this will take, but we're hoping that he will recover as soon as possible and get this dealt with.
Javier?
Hey, Pascal. Javier from City Boys.
Hi, Javier.
Hi. Question is, with Kevin O'Toole getting the red card last game, do you foresee you changing the formation or giving somebody like Nico a chance to start?
Good question. Also, both are possible. We'll have to wait and see until Saturday what's going to happen, but both scenarios are in my mind.
Christian?
Hi, Pascal. It's the 10th anniversary of New York City FC's first home game. You now stand as the coach as they enter that next decade. How exciting is that proposition for you?
That's a very interesting question. There was a question also asked from back home. I'm very excited, very honored also to be the coach leading the team into this next decade. But my main focus is on performing each and every match and trying to be as successful as we can as a club and as a team.
If I can just follow up on that as well, New England have had a slightly tricky start to the season, let's say. You're coming into this game off the back of a victory. Mm-hmm. How do you continue to leverage your momentum and avoid any complacency with such a game?
Oh, that's so interesting, because this is the first time I'm going to see my squad after a win in the league. Obviously, I've seen them perform after a win in pre-season, but we all know that the league can bring something extra. So going into this game is very clear. There are no guarantees from the previous game. So we have to do even better and be better than we were in the previous game in order to be successful again. So that's what that's the thing that drives us.
Christian Arnold.
Hey, Coach, Christian Arnold with the Post.
Hi,
I
Christian.
was curious. You mentioned last week that Ojeda wasn't in the starting 11 because he was late to the match, and I guess since then, have you had a chance to kind of talk to him and kind of reaffirm some of the standards you have as a coach? And then I was also just curious too, in terms of an issue like this, especially early on in a tenure for a new coach. Generally speaking, how do you, I guess, strike the balance of wanting to make sure your expectations are expressed correctly while also, I guess, trying to show some understanding to a situation that may arise?
Oh, it's very simple. We've set the culture from day one, so this is not a difficult one, and it was dealt with. He lost his starting position on Saturday. We had a conversation on Saturday, and we move on to the next moment. And he's been training well ever since. He got some play time on Saturday again, and we move on to the next moment.
Adam.
Hey, Coach. This is Adam with Post 90.
Hi, Adam.
Can you just give an update on Malachi and how close you think we are to a return for him?
Well, what I can say is that he's not going to return for a while. We're still trying to help him recover, but it's going to take a while. So we'll just have to be very patient before we can see Mally back on the pitch, unfortunately.
Chris Campbell.
Hey, Pascal, Chris Cameron from the outfield.
Hi, Chris.
With New England coming in, I know they've had a rough start to the year, but what do you see from them in terms of challenges they present, and how are you preparing the team to attack those? Thank you.
Well, the preparation doesn't change a bit. We have our routines. We always prepare ourselves to the max going into our game, so that doesn't change. The only thing, like you mentioned in your question, is that New England had a bad start of the season, unfortunately. So they'll be looking for a moment to recover, and that is something that makes them unpredictable, and we have to be prepared for that aspect as well, and go into this game like we did in the previous games, but also knowing that they will be looking for a moment to get back on their feet, and we must be prepared for this.
Back to Michael Ender.
Pascal, Mike Ender from Blue City Radio again. You had a great performance by Johnny Shore, young player, but still stood out in the match.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have a congested midfield if Justin comes back to the midfield. How do you approach having difficult conversations about players that really stand out in their opportunities, but understanding that you can't play everyone every game, especially with a young talent like that?
That's part of being a coach. You cannot make everybody happy. I watch my guys very closely throughout the week when we make our plan as a staff, and include the players as much as we can, and then the decisions will be made going into Saturday's game. Of course, you take in consideration the previous performance and how the balance in the squad and in the team must be going into a game. But I mentioned this also after the game on Saturday concerning a few other situations. My approach is always team first, so that will never change.
Anyone else? Great. Thank you.
Hey, Justin. This is Adam with Post 90. Last year after the playoff loss, you spoke with the media and said you were looking to be a starter, whether that was here or somewhere else. And we're now 3 games through the 2025 season, and you've played every available minute as a starter and have objectively looked pretty good throughout. Just wondering what your thoughts are on this early season and if you feel vindicated that things are panning out the way that you knew they could.
Yeah, with how the year started, I've been very happy. I think Pascal coming in, he's brought a different intensity to the team, and I've been very happy to be a part of it the first 3 games and just looking to keep on growing and building on it.
Alex?
Hi, Justin. This is Alex Winley from AM Newark. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. As a homegrown player, you've been with NYCFC for a while now. How do you feel your role within the team has evolved, both on and off the field? Thank you.
I would say the biggest change probably has been I've been used in a few different positions, which is not something I did in my youth career. So just growing into that role has been something that's changed a little bit for me. And in terms of off the field, maybe becoming a bit more of a leader. You know, I've been one of the guys that's been here for a little bit longer time, and we have a lot of young guys here. So just trying to be a little bit more of a leader off the field.
Chris?
Hey, Justin. Chris came from the outfield. I actually wanted to expand on that. You know, you started as a homegrown young kid, and now we have Johnny Shore, 17 years old, getting some major minutes last several games. How has it been kind of working with him as he comes into this moment where he's that young age that you were when you first started? Thanks.
No, it's been really exciting to see him get these chances and take them so well. You know, I always felt that he trained really well with us, and he's a kid also. You know, he went through a little bit of adversity last year because he wouldn't always be with the first team, but he always remains humble and kept working hard, and now he has these chances. So to work with him and see him growing in the way he is really exciting, and I think we're just going to see a lot more of that from him.
Michael?
Hey, Justin, it's Mike Henry from Blue City Radio. Thanks for the time. You've been asked to start in two different positions, both difficult positions. How mentally do you prepare thinking about making sure that you're at the top of your game, even though you were asked to do different roles?
I mean, it's pretty easy. Like, no matter what role they need me for the game, I always kind of try to prepare the same way, and that's just to be the best version of myself. You know, the two positions they're a little bit different, but there's a lot of similarities between the two, and I think that's why it's a little bit easier for me to just focus on doing what I do well in my game and bringing that to the team.
Andrew?
Hi, Justin. Andrew Lee with Hudson River Blue. You started at center back against Orlando. The team has had some injuries and absences along the defensive line. Do you think that the performance against Orlando and now facing New England, with Thiago being able to start and you playing at center back, do you think that will continue? And do you think that's sort of helped maybe steady things defensively, just knowing that you've had some guys kind of in and out of the lineup?
I definitely. First, I'm not sure if it's going to continue or not, or how the lineup's going to even look this weekend. You know, because we have a lot of guys. You know, Burke was just sick last week, which meant I had to go into the back line. But I'm not sure how it will look this weekend. And then, in terms of, I would say like me and Thiago developed a good relationship last year, leading into the playoffs where we had a few good performances. So I always feel comfortable playing with him or whoever else in the back line.
Christian?
Hi, Justin. It was 10 years ago this weekend that NYCFC had their first home game, also against New England. I'm just curious, first off, what memories you have maybe of that weekend, where you might have been, if you can remember?
I wasn't at the game. I think we might have had an away game with the academy for that first home game, because I don't remember I definitely wasn't at the game.
If I can ask another one, then obviously, like I said, 10 years. You now stand in the team. You've made that journey. What does it mean to you to be able to reflect on the 10 years and see where you've come and where you've ended up?
Yeah, if I just look back, so I think around that time, you know, I was with the under 14 team, and just to see, you know, I've been through a lot at this club with other guys that have been around me for a long time, and to now be in a good role with the first team, it feels really special for me, and I'm looking to, you know, keep going and building on it.
If I can add another two more in here, so I've got a few on the list. I guess if you could go back and give that U14 player a bit of a message as to what's about to unfold for his career, what do you think you'd tell him?
I would just tell him to keep working hard and always to keep believing in yourself, because, you know, there'll be times where it doesn't go exactly how you planned it, but at the end of the day, you know, there's always like God's timing and God's plan that He'll open and close the right doors for you, and if you just keep believing in yourself and working hard, everything will work out.
And lastly from me, New England have had a bit of a tricky start to the season, but they have Carlos Hill, they have a lot of talented players. How important is it to enter this game with the right mentality and maybe not take the situation lightly? Yeah,
100%. I mean, it's only 3 games into the season, and they've played some good teams early on, so it's not fair at all to say it's going to be an easy game, because it definitely won't. There's almost never an easy game in MLS, and we're approaching it like any other game, and we're going to be ready for the game.